What you're looking at here is every single Mario game for the Nintendo 64. Mario 64, Party, Party 2, Party 3, Dr. Mario 64, Kart 64, Golf, Tennis, and Paper Mario. Now, these are all games that I've played either a lot or just a little bit, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to just kind of go through all these, see which one is kind of like the best out of the entire N64 library, which one's the worst, which ones really stand out amongst the others. So let's go ahead and get started. I might as well get this out of the way. Mario 64, you've seen a bajillion ROM hacks of this game on the channel. I mean, what more am I supposed to say? I'm probably going to say that this is my favorite Mario game on the Nintendo 64 by an absolute landslide. Nothing else really stands much of a chance here. There's really not much for me to add. Like, you guys, you already know what this game's like. I'm just going to move on. Here we've got actually a pretty interesting one that I never see anyone talk about, and that is Dr. Mario 64. This is not a game that I've played a lot of, but I am a pretty big fan of Dr. Mario. I enjoy puzzle games like this. I really wish Nintendo would actually, do a little bit more with this franchise, because the last thing we've seen is Dr. Mario World on the phones, and Dr. Mario World wasn't even classic Dr. Mario. It's just like a cheap little mobile phone game. It wasn't the same experience at all. It wasn't the same gameplay, but this one actually stands out quite a bit amongst other Dr. Mario games, and it's a really fun game just in general on N64. This game has a lot of different modes. There are a ton of different modes. There's even a freaking story mode. And the way that it's kind of shared is all the characters are paper. So it's kind of like Paper Mario, but it is pretty interesting that I think this is the only Dr. Mario game still that has a story mode. Something else that I feel like no one talks about, there is a unique song in this game which, well, I wouldn't say it's technically exclusive. I think it's in a couple other Dr. Marios, but it's called QQ. It premiered, and I freaking love QQ. I honestly think it's better than Fever and Chill. Like, Fever and Chill are obviously classic. They're still great. They're still super catchy, but QQ, oh man, that's on another level. I love QQ. It's super catchy. It manages to be very energetic throughout the whole thing. It just works so well. So I'm a pretty big fan of Dr. Mario 64. A ton of game modes, very big on multiplayer, and it's just generally a great puzzle game. And now we've got Mario Party. This is where my takes are going to get a little controversial, because I know a lot of people don't consider this the best Mario Party game. I freaking love Mario Party 1. I love how mean it is to you. This game bullies you. It even calls you fat. Like, I'm not even kidding. There's the, I think it's Yoshi's Tropical Island. That's the board game. If you go to Bowser, he puts on a Bowser tube and he basically just calls you fat. That's amazing. Like, that's not something that would happen. Even in Mario Party Superstars, that stage was brought back, and then Bowser doesn't call you fat in that game, but he does in this game. He has balls in Mario Party 1. It's a very raw Mario Party. You lose coins sometimes when you lose minigames, which is really unfair, but I just love it. I love how, like, dumb some of the minigames are, and I love how the game looks, too. It looks so chunky and awful. Like, the character models have not aged well at all, but my god, it's definitely all nostalgia. This is a huge nostalgia game for me. Yeah, I freaking love Mario Party 1. I think it's awesome. The minigames, again, haven't aged great. A lot of them aren't very fun. I would say in general, like, for people that have never played Mario Party, don't play this one. Play Mario Party Superstars. But for me, this is always going to be my favorite, like, no matter what. Now we've got Mario Party 2. I feel like this one is kind of regarded as, like, the best game in the entire series, and while I would consider it to be a fantastic Mario Party game, I don't know if I'd really say it's the best one, because it's really more like Mario Party 1.5. It didn't introduce any new characters. A lot of the minigames come from Mario Party 1. There's very few brand new minigames. What I will say, though, is the boards are fantastic. I absolutely love the boards. And it's awesome that all the characters have, like, little costumes. And I would say maybe the minigame selection's a little bit better than Party 1, but there's just something about it that I've just never liked as much. I will say, though, you know what? This cover art is better than the first game. It's just Mario pointing his finger at you with a Western hat on. I mean, what more could you possibly want? Then we've got Mario Party 3. I think it's kind of funny how the box says 70 all new minigames. I'm assuming that people complained that Mario Party 2 had a lot of the first game's minigames, so this time they're all brand new. Of course, it's got Waluigi in it, it's got Daisy, so there's a couple new characters. The boards are also, again, pretty solid. There's really not much to add here. There is a story mode. Like, the story mode, I would say, is a bit more in-depth compared to, like, the other two games, but that's about it. Now, Mario Tennis on the N64. I have not played a lot of this game, but from what I have played, I've always enjoyed it. it's basically just tennis with Mario characters, but what I love about the N64 and especially the GameCube Mario Tennis is just the large amount of content that is in the game. There's a ton of different game modes. You can transfer your characters from the Game Boy Color version of Mario Tennis. So yeah, Mario Tennis is great. There's a lot of courts as well, tons and tons of courts actually. You look back now and it's like, well, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, even Mario Tennis Aces on Switch, it just felt like they were holding back so much content, where this game, it's got it all. You got a ton of characters to pick from, lots of courts. It's a great game. You know, it is just tennis, of course, but if you want to play a solid tennis game, you really can't go wrong with Mario Tennis. And then, of course, Paper Mario. Man, I could talk about Paper Mario for forever. I'll try to keep it brief, but man, this, you know what? This could potentially be the best Mario game on the console. I think I'd probably still vote Mario 64 is better, but if you like RPGs, then man, you're gonna freaking love Paper Mario. It was, of course, supposed to be the sequel to Super Mario RPG. Like, this game is so huge, there's so many unique characters, the story is so engaging and interesting that it's hard to, like, try to pinpoint what exactly to highlight here, because this is just one of Nintendo's best RPGs in general. The only thing that I feel like has aged kind of poorly is the graphics are just okay. They don't look incredible now. I do love all the characters though. The general gameplay, the combat is so much fun. I feel like, I don't know, my headspace has kind of been all over the place with this one, but yeah, this game is just absolutely incredible. Now we've got Mario Golf, and the weirdest thing about Mario Golf is honestly the way the character selection works. So if you're playing this in single player mode, you actually don't have access to Mario from the beginning. You can unlock Mario, but you actually only have 2 characters from the story mode. You got Peach and then Baby Mario. Very, very strange, but that's just how it works. But once again, you know, this is just a very solid golf game. There's a ton of courses to play on. There are a lot of characters, especially when you're doing multiplayer, and it's just a generally solid golf game. And finally, we've got Mario Kart 64, and I'm gonna make an argument and say this is actually the worst Mario game on the N64. Not saying it's bad, but like, this game is not aged well. Let's just be real. I love it. I love the sound bites the characters make. I love the tracks. I love everything about the game. But like, realistically speaking, this game is just not aged very great. The general driving feels very clunky. The rubber banding is really bad. A lot of the items just don't really work. Like, red shells often just don't work at all. There's not much in here. There's only 16 tracks, which isn't very many, because even back then, that's a pretty low amount. Considering, you know, it's competition like Diddy Kong Racing, Crash Team Racing as well. Those games had a lot more tracks than this one, so this one's only stuck with 16. So, I don't know. I mean, I love the game. I'm gonna be playing it for the rest of my life probably, but it's definitely not aged the best. I mean, I would argue that, like, you know, Double Dash, DS have aged much better than these games. Is it better than Super Mario Kart, though? Well, yeah, I mean, what game isn't better than Super Mario Kart?